Hey Cancer, welcome to 8 of Cups Tarot. I am working on your second half of March reading, in which I felt was going to be a pretty significant reading, and it surely packed a punch. Now, I'm not sure in this particular reading, and you'll understand more in a few minutes, but I'm not sure that you're going to reach a great level of clarity in this reading. If you are searching for answers on YouTube videos and readings and astrology and horoscopes, I just don't think that Cancer is going to find that anywhere, because I think the unknowing that Cancer is sitting in at this time is very much divinely orchestrated. It is in the unknowing in which you are forced to relinquish every ounce of control, or should I say every illusion of control you have over the situation, and allowing yourself to just trust that everything is going to work out exactly the way that it's meant to work out. The energy right now for Cancers are very transformative. And let's go over a few of the things quickly, and then we'll get into these cards so I can explain further about all of the stuff you don't know that you're still not going to know. But the point of the month is that you're going to become increasingly comfortable in the unknowing. So, Cancer, full moon in your third house. You're in this energy for 2 more weeks. The full moon isn't just that day. That energy plays out really for a full month-long cycle. But the next 2 weeks, the way it plays out with the rest of the astrological events that are occurring, a full moon in your third house could force you to speak your truth, or to come to terms with a certain way that you think and operate in your thought processes. This is a manifestation setting like no other. And so I think Cancer knows that in the growing of the emotional maturity of yourself, in the releasing of expectations of others, third house full moons can mean that you're okay releasing control right now, and that there's comfort in it. You have tremendous energy poured into your 7th house, first house axis. So again, we're still dealing with a lot of situations involving partners, contracts, business partners, life partners, committed relationships, best friends, significant relationships in your life. And Mars, Pluto, and Jupiter hanging out together in a very small orb for the rest of the month promises that these relationships will bring you either great abundance or tremendous disappointment. And Cancers have to find a way to be okay either way. Saturn is moving into your 8th house, Cancer, and so the transformation process itself is becoming more disciplined. It's becoming more intimate. It's not just about the give and take. It's not just about the creation of significant relationships in your life, but it's what they create. It's what those relationships bring to you. It's the abundance that it brings into your life. It is the ability to allow intimacy, to allow vulnerability, to allow yourself to be seen. That's where you've been working on during this entire Saturn-Pluto conjunction. You've been working on allowing yourself to be seen in relationships for who you truly are. Now, this is not uncommon for any of the signs. This is part of the themes. This is the main theme for you, Cancer, and that you have to know that in relationships in your life, there is always beginnings and endings. There is always cycles in our life. And we have to be really comfortable in the no guarantees, in having faith that everything will work out okay in any event. No matter what, there's self-mastery of the emotional state with Saturn in the 8th house. Much like the way the 1st and 2nd house work is often the way the 7th and 8th house works. So the 1st house is who you are, and the 2nd house is your abundance, or what you attract to you. Your 7th house is who you are in relationships with others. And your 8th house is what those relationships will bring to you in a form of abundance. So if the 7th house area is sloppy, then the 8th house will be unrewarding. But if the 7th house is fulfilling, if you're in a happy relationship, then the 8th house can bring tremendous gains and abundance just simply because of the energy and love that is in your life. If there is a relationship you continue to stay in that is lacking love, then you will for sure lack the abundance that is supposed to come from it. And that is how we increase debts, life's debts, the South Node. South Node is your 7th house. So Cancers are being really forced to let go to relationships that don't serve them in order to step into relationships that do. They are being forced to let go of all of the attributes you have created in this lifetime that shield you from old wounds and disappointments, where you've put up walls because past situations didn't work out. And then there's a realization that those walls are no longer serving you, they are hindering you. And they must come down in order for you to start this new process in this new cycle. The cards speak very much to me about what is going on with you. Neptune in your 9th house, meaning you're very unclear at this point in where you want to be, but Pisces, Neptune, the sun conjunct just a few days ago. You know, the sun met up with Neptune, and there's sort of this awakening of who you truly are. And then there's a need to move towards that. So as that 9th house, that north node that's getting really, the Neptune sun conjunction in your 9th house, and then the sun moves over into Aries during a spring equinox, in which gives you the power and the energy to move towards that path, that destiny. The 10th house is what you're meant to be in this world, the part you're meant to play, what you're meant to give back. It could oftentimes reflect our careers and what we do with our lives if you are lucky enough to have a career that coincides with your destiny. But some of us, our destiny is much different than what we do for a living. And so it's a bigger picture here than what you do for work. It is a picture of your legacy, of how you want others to remember you. how others really see you and how you stand out. And that is what is really changing. There's a realization from the inside that gives you the strength to create movement on the outside. And that is exactly what the second half of March is going to bring you. Uranus and Venus in your 11th house. Uranus can be very disruptive. But Uranus in Taurus, I find, especially when it's hanging out with Venus, to be something that's quite lovely. Because it gives us this electrical current, like we have to step out of our safety zones a little bit. We have to break up the way that we have always done things. We have to seek freedom, but we're not seeking freedom by breaking up relationships, and we're seeking freedom by finding relationships, by leaving relationships that, again, don't serve us, in the knowing that one is coming that will catapult us into a brand new destiny, into a whole new story. And in that Uranus energy in your 11th house is sort of like this blank canvas where you get to recreate yourself, where you get to decide what you really want, what your wishes and dreams really are, and then you get to go out and get them again. And it's a beautiful new cycle, but it requires balance. And right now, that Neptune in your 9th house, and shortly, the North Node is going to move into Gemini, your 12th house. The nodes will move into Gemini. Venus will move into Gemini shortly, and then she will retrograde. So Venus is going to be in your 12th house for an awful long time. And she is really going to rework your subconscious tendencies in the way that you love, in the way that you accept love, in the way that you allow yourself to be loved. And this retrograde is really going to work over what you have and create something new. Remember, Gemini is creativity. And sometimes Cancers get so lost because oftentimes your 12th house is what you don't see clearly. And Gemini is information in a very creative, fast pace. And Cancer is very deep and slow moving. It is a cardinal sign, so it's not afraid to have direction. It's not afraid to start things. It's not afraid to go after things. But there's a level of safety and protection that Cancer carries with them. And so sometimes it's hard to see the creative perspective to things. And so Cancers can get stuck in an energy where they just want to make the old things work, and there's a lack of faith in the new. And Cancers are known for staying in relationships much past their expiration dates. It is the same with jobs. It is the same with homes. Cancers protect themselves, and so they're not good with vulnerability. And right now, you are being asked to become extremely okay with vulnerability. And things are changing at such a rapid pace for you, even if you don't see real movement now. Please know that it's happening behind the scenes, that things are really being orchestrated. And in this reading, you got a couple extra cards, which tells me that Spirit is really anxious to share this info with you and to help you understand. And the Spirit is really all too willing to communicate with you if need be, and that if you would like to open up those doors and windows of communication, Pisces season, the remainder of, is a very important time in which you could look within, and you may not get solid answers. But what you will find is your ability to feel safe in the unknown. There is a level of finding faith at the end of this month that will be your saving grace. It will be the catapulting event that leads you into a whole new life. 8 of Cups, 7 of Wands. Now, this isn't Rider Waite. This is the Aleister Crowley. So, 8 of Cups is a little bit different to me in this deck. Sometimes I see it a little bit like the 7 of Cups in Rider Waite, as though there's so much abundance. But some of these cups are empty and some of them are flowing. And I think there's a feeling out here. There's almost a limiting of abundance here. And why? Well, because we have the 7 of Wands. Again, the 7 of Wands is where you are being entirely too protective. Not allowing the vulnerability. These are things that you do, you allow your ego to do in order to protect you. And that's great. The ego is meant to protect you. It's a warning system within your body. If things feel unsafe, then you know to trust that feeling and stay away. But sometimes that ego can become very overactive. And sometimes there are abundant situations that we ignore the potential of because they seem almost too good to be true. Or they seem like there's risks involved that you don't have the courage to do. This talks to me about how Cancers need to stop playing it small. That's pretty profound, to stop playing it small. And that really goes hand in hand with the overall energy, which is a Knight of Swords in reverse. So this is what I'm saying about relinquishing the control and giving it up to faith. And then knowing that you can't change the course of destiny. What's meant for you will come to you with ease, and that where you build resistance from fear, you are self-sabotaging what the universe is trying to deliver to you. What is the universe trying to deliver to you? The Lovers in reverse with the Page of Cups. There is a fear of unrequited love. There is a fear that if you really truly expose yourself in this connection, if you communicate, if you allow this person to see the amount of love that you feel. 8 of Cups, there is a lot of love. 7 of Wands, there is a tremendous amount of passion surrounding the situation. But you're only allowing yourself to offer a Page of Cups. So inside you feel all of this, but the other person on the receiving end is just getting a, I am interested. It's almost as if you are busting at the seams with all of this emotion and potential and creativity, but all you're willing to do is let the other person know that you will take menial steps, offer small amounts of love and interest, and go about it in almost a very immature way. And I say immature not because it's immature, but immature in which this is someone that doesn't truly believe in themselves, in what they deserve or what they have to offer. Sun in reverse, and the Ten of Pentacles. So there's Leo, Gemini, Cancer energy, obviously Scorpio energy, Pisces energy. You could be dealing with another water sign or a fire sign. I see Leo quite a bit here. But really, I think there's a feeling, Cancer, like in order to gain or maintain stability in a situation, you have to forego the passion and the vulnerability again. And this keeps coming up for Cancers over and over. And I think that the Pluto-Jupiter is going to really open your eyes as to what you're doing here if you're not seeing it so far. But you're sacrificing happiness. You're sacrificing your true, authentic destiny for stability and dependability and what you find to be, a guaranteed level of success. And that is where the self-sabotage comes in. 7 of Swords, 6 of Cups. Is there a level of feeling like you don't deserve it, Cancer? Is there a level of feeling like if you give into this situation, if you really allow yourself to fall for this, if you really allow yourself to be seen in this situation, that someone's going to hurt you, someone's going to take from you, deceive you, fool you. There's a feeling like if I stop worrying, if I stop waiting for the ball to drop, that's exactly when it's going to happen. If I just trust that this is beautiful and everything's going to work out fine, I am going to be crushed. And why? Because that's exactly how it happened in my past. You are allowing past situations to dictate the success that is shown in the potential of this connection. Now, I'm not really going to pretend in this situation like this is a job or a business partner, because I'm picking up very much on a love situation here. But this situation is merely a reflection of how you feel about yourself, Cancer. And that is why there is so much unknown here, because the universe cannot tell you how this story is going to play out until you decide what you deserve, until you decide what level you're willing to take this to. Self-sabotaging by expecting something bad to happen, expecting anybody that you love to hurt you, because anyone you loved in your past, that's how it went. Well, it's causing you to expect people to be disappointed anytime that you feel happiness and fulfillment. 10 of Cups, 5 of Swords. It's like that giant step forward and then 10 steps back. If you allow yourself to be happy and hopeful, then there's so much that you have to lose, and you're not really sure you're willing to sacrifice the pain. Oh my God, and this is so corny and cheesy, but I'm hearing that Garth Brooks song, The Dance. They're playing in my head. Oh, yeah. You know, it's kind of having that opportunity to say to that person, you know, it's like being at the crossroads. Do I risk tremendous loss and pain in order to gain the greatest love I've ever felt in my life? And you know that things can't last forever, and you know that eventually, even if it's just via natural causes, that at some point this may end and you will have to clean up the mess. And again, we are back to dealing with the fear of success and happiness. We have ourselves in such a cycle of expecting loss and disappointment that we're not even sure the going after what we truly want and need is worth it. But this is under tremendous transformation, Cancer, and this is ultimately where you change. There is such a catalyst here for your transformation. Swan energy, and she's reflected. This card came out for you and you only. This card has not come out, you know, this placement. Queen of Pentacles in reverse. So you are transforming what you believe you deserve, and you are transforming what you're willing to invest. Where you have protected yourself in the past, you are now willing, hopefully through this transformation, to expose who you truly are, to expose how you truly feel, and know that you deserve that reciprocation. Now I want to read that Swan card to you, because I think it's going to help you to understand the next 2 weeks' energy and what you're going through. The Swan, effortless creativity, sensitive mystic, and elegant power. This is all about grace, Cancer. The swan represents heightened creativity. In Hindu mythology, the goddess Saraswati, the embodiment of language, creativity, and artistry, rides on the back of this graceful creature. The swan is ready to take us there, to the fluid realm of writing, creating, and reflecting. This potent and healing energy is not to be taken for granted or taken lightly. When the Swan card appears, your soul is calling for attention. For solo time, an inner voice is waiting to be heard, an inner vision likely to be revealed. When in balance, infinite creative power, and when out of balance, agitated, snippy, and lacking vision. To bring into balance solo time and writing. Now, if you're not an artist or a writer, you're probably wondering what the hell they're talking about. But let's talk about how you get into that level of creativity. Again, that 11th house, Uranus, Venus, we talked about the ability to manifest when you have that. How important it is to understand that your thoughts are really creating your 3D world. The way that you feel on the inside is a direct reflection of what is occurring in the outside world. So if you are beginning to open up to a beautiful love story, it's because on the inside you are really truly learning to love yourself. And if you are hitting into relationships in which you are being taken for granted, and you're feeling this energy like you need to make a move, you can't stand here anymore, you cannot remain complacent, then the universe is moving you to where you belong. Again, your inner being is speaking to you, and it's telling you how to create from a place of fulfillment, from a place where you know what you deserve, where your needs are met because they matter, because you matter. And Cancer may ultimately like to make sacrifices in order to keep everything calm and in place. That's what we do. We place other people's feelings and emotions above ours, and then we resent those people for it, even though they never asked us to do that in the first place. And now we are starting to realize how important our emotions truly are. How important it is that we are fulfilled and we are doing the self-love that we need, that we are loving and honoring ourselves, because that's the type of relationships that we will attract. The swan is a creative energy, and if you look, it is exactly what I'm saying to you. The reflection of the swan on the water, it's like really seeing yourself for the first time. It's seeing that how you feel about yourself on the inside is what is being offered to you on the outside. Where are you being called to journey? And you've been training for this for lifetimes. If that rings true to you in any way, I think you realize that your inner being is pushing you into a direction to acknowledge your self-worth and what you deserve in order to attract it to you. If you are being called into a relationship, then you need to expose yourself. You need to be vulnerable. You need to express yourself in order to take it to the next level. If you have a feeling in the pit of your stomach each time you're around a person, of dread, of exhaustion, of the feeling like you can't do it anymore, well, then your soul is being called to tell you this no longer matches your vibration, and you need to have the courage to walk away from it in order to attract what does connect to your vibration. And you've been training for this for lifetimes, tells me that this particular Jupiter, Pluto, Mars conjunction that's occurring in the 7th house, that there's something destined for you that's heading for you. You know it. You sense the change is on its way, and you're ready to accept it. You're ready to step into this new being. And that this has been your path for many, many, many lifetimes. You are exactly where you need to be. And in that, there's an acceptance that at this time you need to have faith and trust yourself. Trust yourself from the place in which you realize what your dreams are. You realize you need the courage to attain them. You realize that you deserve them. And you're willing to make the moves. Faith. That's all that you need right now, is faith. To drop the worry and the thoughts in your mind, the negative thinking of all the way that things can go wrong, and just hope and have faith that you've earned this. This is a karmic cycle, and that things are happening for you. The cards you got is Up in the Air and Archangel. This is coming from my Akashic Records Tarot, which is really pretty profound, because I do think that we are in a very karmic cycle right now. This is a time of endings and beginnings, and we are all sort of in this in-between two different worlds where things are ending and new things are beginning. Old pieces of us are coming to an end, and new operating systems are emerging. And it's a beautiful time of transformation. But there's a comfort, again, in the unknowing. You have to manifest from a point of emotion. You have to manifest by knowing that how you will feel when you have the thing that you have. When you have the thing that you want. how does it feel? You can't apply a specific person, place, or thing to it. It is really just an emotion of fulfillment, an emotion of gratitude. I often am brought, I had a dream, and I share this with you, I don't know, maybe because I have a Cancer moon and I'm being asked to expose and share parts of myself to help your growth and your journey. But I had this dream a long time ago in which I felt a level of nurturing that I had never felt before. There was a feeling of I had accomplished something I had worked very hard at, and I was exhausted. And after all of that hard work was done, I sort of fell into this feeling like, okay, I could relinquish control. And someone is here to catch me and to love me and to nurture me, and I'm allowed to feel safe. And that's really profound for a Cancer. We always want to make everyone else around us feel safe, but we don't often do the things we need to do to create safety in ourselves. Now, we do build walls and we cut off emotions to keep us safe. But I'm talking about the safety that occurs when somebody really loves and cherishes you. When you really love and cherish you. The kind of safety is a feeling like the universe and spirit and all of your guides and your angels have their wings wrapped around you. And that even if everything around you is going wrong, you are so safe and loved. And I think that the Archangel Michael, along with the up in the air, is telling you that you get to choose now what you want and what's going to make that feeling come to you. And that spirit has you. So I want to read these cards to you quickly. Up in the air, number 18, Major Arcana. A man and a woman gaze with anticipation at a hot air balloon in a bright blue sky. The balloon flies high above the hills, and the contents of the balloon's baskets are hidden from view. During this time of your life, there are aspects of an important situation that seem hidden to you. You may feel a strong, almost urgent desire to know how it's going to turn out. You can connect with your spirit guides and the Akashic records and ask for a little insight, but there are elements that are unknown and at this time unknowable. There is too much about this situation that is still up in the air. This could be due to the influence of others who are undecided, or some events may not have yet come to pass, or unexpected discoveries are yet to be made. Trust is the only way for you now. If you push too hard to know or to influence the outcome, you might push the outcome away. Let go of all urgency and give the situation to your higher infinite self, who will take care of it all. Time is required to know more about this matter. And time doesn't matter to your eternal self, whose power and love are always with you. For now, and indeed forever, what else do you need? Nothing but trust, the deepest knowing that all you seek will be revealed to you in the right time. Wow. That sitting there next to the card of Archangel Michael is pretty breathtaking. The Archangel Michael is a channel of divine power. He is seen here sharing his energy with two small children, bringing them great strength and support. He is about to pick up the boy, and he could help lift your energy too. When you receive this card, know that your energy reflects Michael's amazing strength. This can be a cycle of increasing power for you, one where you feel your courage growing and you know what action to take next. Trust your convictions, your power, and your resourcefulness. Michael, upright, heralds a time of greater courage, force, initiative, and action, so don't delay. He's right there with you. So tap into the dynamo within you and take that action that compels you. With Michael and your own power, you can move mountains and lift yourself to new heights. Now let me make this clear quickly before I wrap this up. You have a card of get comfortable in the knowing and a card of take action. Here's the difference. Allow yourself to let go of the knowing and to trust in yourself and your intuition. And to follow your intuition into having faith, but don't push others. Don't push others at all at this time. There is just an allowance here. This is all about you for the next 2 weeks. And what you believe and what you want and what you love is what you will get. So if you have faith that the universe always has your back, that the universe always provides, then you can allow maybe certain situations to fall apart, and you could allow maybe other situations to grow in potential, and all you have to do is sit back and love yourself and know what you deserve. That's all. You let others' actions speak for themselves, and you know that you ultimately deserve so much, and what doesn't match that vibration will simply fall away and be replaced with what does match that vibration. Cancer, this is a really beautiful reading. They're all really beautiful. I kind of expected big things coming out towards the end of the month. And even if it's not a big thing that happens, there's so many big things happening on the inside that are changing you and your life forever. All right, Cancer. I will be back early April to get you through the Jupiter-Pluto conjunction. We'll work together in that energy. And until then, I wish you the best and lots of love and abundance coming your way. You have a great end of March.